I'm not ready for the redemption of men. This is Amber Tamblyn writing in the New York Times just yesterday. So she's not ready for the redemption of men. Redemption of meaning, of course, being saved from sin and evil. So let's see what Amber Tamblyn has to say. And there's a little photo there in the article, which I'll leave. I'll put it in the comments section and pin it to the top. There's a little photo of a woman walking between two stars on what looks like Hollywood Boulevard, only it ain't. One of the stars is for the disgraced Kevin Spacey, and the other one is, of course, but this is New York Times, I'm sure you can guess, it's Donald Trump's star. Anyway, this is the way she kicks off. Recently, I was sitting on my couch between two influential Emmy-winning writers, one a man and one a woman. She doesn't name either of them. Anyway, we were talking about consequences. The comedian Louis C.K.'s entire life seemed to have been cancelled overnight. His movie wasn't being released, and his representatives dropped him after 5 women accused him of sexual harassment, behaviour he then admitted. Well, is this where he was wanking off on the phone when he was talking to them? And this is absolutely awful. His career should be ruined, of course. I'm just wondering if I was on the phone to Amber Tamblyn, disagreeing with her article, and she suddenly told me that she got her tits out and was playing with them, should her career be ruined or stopped? If I started blubbering about it, I'd just hang the fucking phone up, unless I wanted to listen to her playing with her tits, which I most certainly wouldn't. See the hypocrisy straight away. Anyway, she continues, in just the past week, more famous and admired men have lost their jobs for such behaviours. She mentions Charlie Rose, Matt Lauer, and Garrison, someone or other, whatever. The man on the couch next to me was disconcerted, making an argument that while Louis C.K.'s actions certainly merited serious consequences, what he did, no, they don't. They don't merit shit being done. Grow up, women. You see, this article is just yet another infantilizing women and taking away their agency to just say to a man who's behaving like a creep, fuck off. I'm just wondering what this Amber Tamblyn would do if this guy took his cock out in front of her. She'd tell him to fuck off. Anyway, we shouldn't lump them all together, he insisted. She mentions Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, he really is a disgusting piece of work. And of course, they are different. Anyway, the woman was firm with her response. Yes, we can and we will. Choosing consequences doesn't belong to you anymore. You see the arrogance of feminists. They just behave like they're above men. They are the chauvinists, as far as I'm concerned. Certainly this unnamed writer she's talking about. She continues anyway. The man balks with frustration. What do you want, he asked her. What's the ultimate thing you would want to happen to him for what he did? That he never works in this business again? The woman said simply, yes, that's the price you pay. The man was quiet for a moment, thinking until he found the question he'd be looking for the entire conversation. Tell me something. Do you believe in redemption? Okay, so that's the basic premise of the article. It's a valid question, says Tamblyn, but it's also a question that makes me deeply suspicious of its timing. Why do we need to talk about the redemption of men when we are right in the redemption of men? Which men? Which men is she talking about? You see, it's just another case here of a feminist taking a handful of men and then trying to shame, what's it, like 2.5 billion plus men? Shame them? Redemption? Fuck you. And she continues, when we are right in the middle of the salvation of women. Oh, they're being saved. They're being saved by feminists. Not even the middle, she says, but the very beginning. Oh, there's a question mark there. What is she talking about? How can you be in the middle of something if you're at the very beginning? I don't think she knows what she's even talking about. Why are we obliged to care about salvaging male careers? I don't think anyone's going out of their way to save these guys' careers, when we have just begun to tell the stories that have plagued us for lifetimes, plural. So she's led multiple lives and she's been plagued for multiple lives. Okay, so we know that that's utter bullshit. It seems some men like a revolution only when it's their kind of war. No men are looking for a fucking revolution apart from MGTOW against bullshit like this, you stupid fucking feminist. Throughout history, history is always, and it has been throughout history, been used by bigots in order to promote their particular cause. In some cases, the hatred of other people. And Amber Tamblyn looks to me as if she's trying to promote the hatred of men using history. Women haven't been in a position to come forward with their stories and be taken seriously as a rule. Hence all the rape laws that have been created in all societies over thousands of years to protect women. And these laws have been created by men. So she's talking absolute rubbish. That's the reason we sometimes, who's we? We sometimes wait 20 years to report something. Harassment, assault, if we say anything at all. Well, you see how she's using this pluralistic, this tribalistic, I should say, pronoun we to describe herself, her genitals, and other women as if she and them belong to a different species. This is the way that feminists suck women in by using these words we, us, and when they're referring to men, very often it's they and them, we and us. And that, of course, that separates husband from wife, it separates brother from sister, mother from son, father from daughter, and these women don't seem to give a shit. We, again, haven't been silent because we forgot or made our stories up. Well, loads of women do make these stories up. We've been silent because we've been silenced. Oh, so she's been silenced. By who? Who silenced her? Fucking no one. She's talking rubbish. But women now feel comfortable telling such stories. Unless, of course, she wants to make examples and provide some evidence and proof. And if there's proof there, then, okay, I'll accept it. I'll even apologise to her, but I can't see that coming any time too soon. And maybe even more important, we are seeing consequences for those actions. This is more than a watershed moment, it's a flash flood point. Not everyone in my industry is in support of how quickly things are moving. There's a lot of collateral damage dread, a cloud of measure that has covered the industry lately with talk of potentially harmful side effects of such decisive actions. What if an innocent man is falsely accused? Yeah, what indeed? He's fucked. What if the repercussion doesn't fit the crime? Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty? Yeah, that's right. And that I would put as, if I were writing this article, I would have that as the premise of my article. Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty. And this is being applied to men now. This has become hysterical and it's just anti-male propaganda. And I'm thinking of all of the rape cases, the college campus rape cases where women have falsely accused men of gang rape. Every single one of these cases has been proven to be false, and this rape epidemic on college campuses simply doesn't exist. The real figures from the Bureau of Justice aren't even approaching anywhere near the figures falsely created by lying feminists. But you can go back to, say, the Duke Lacrosse case, where a bunch of guys were accused by a woman of gang raping her. She was a fucking liar. and it was as a result those men were publicly shamed. They could have had their lives ruined to the point where they would have gone to jail for a hell of a long time if they'd have been found guilty. She was guilty. She lied, but nothing happened to her. She wasn't, as she should have been, sent to jail for a hell of a long time. Instead, she got out and then she killed her boyfriend and got 11 fucking years for his life. How many lives has she destroyed? Jesus. Yeah. Whatever happened to innocent until proved guilty? I wonder if she'd be writing the same article if the boot was on the other foot and it was women being falsely accused of things and they were on the back foot. And that, she said, is why the male writer wanted to talk about redemption. The idea appeals to the men I've been talking with, I believe, because they want a sense of normalcy restored. What you mean where innocent people are innocent until proven guilty? No, she doesn't say this. They want measured discussion of consequences, not swift punishment. How about they want measured discussion? And your discussion, Amber Tamblyn, does not seem that measured. They want us to leave poor Al Franken and his harmless grabbing alone. Well, I haven't seen that. I've seen Franken condemned left, right and centre in the media by men as well as female commentators. I've heard several male friends talk about text chains they are on with other men only. They describe it as a safe space to talk about how they feel in this moment. Pretty fucking scared, I would imagine, because of this hysterical witch hunt. They feel afraid, disoriented and discounted. Yeah, no doubt. And I understand their need for such comfort and security. You don't sound like you do. I am a woman. Yeah, I know. I know nothing other than needing such comfort and security for my entire life. Okay, so Amber Tamblyn now seems to be suggesting that she's been, I don't know what, sexually persecuted her entire life. She's needed comfort and security her entire life. Whatever. We're in the middle of a reckoning, she continues. It's what toxic masculinity's own medicine tastes like. Now, reading this article, Amber, this is just more of a dose of feminist toxicity, toxic femininity that got me into being an MRA and then a MGTOW, because I'm sick and tired of women like you, and I have been for well over 2 decades of just treating men as if men are guilty for being born wrong, defective. You know, maybe when I was born, the midwife should have dangled me upside down and slapped my backside, not so much to, you know, get me coughing and spluttering and wake me up and bring me to, but, you know, she should have battered me repeatedly and screamed at my mother, the little bastard, he's been guilty for, he's historically guilty, little bastard, he's all born wrong. You know, you go back to those days and imagine telling midwives and explaining to them, as feminists would love to, they are born guilty. These women would be put in a fucking institution. Anyway, back to the article. The only way to enforce seismic cultural change in the way men relate to women, well, the media have been doing this for decades, is to draw a line deep in the sand. Yeah, MGTOW have done that, okay? There's the line in the sand. You stay on that side of the, let's say it was a desert island, you stand on that side of it and MGTOW will stand on the other. And don't try to cross the border, okay? You can fuck right off. I fucking hate feminists and I hate the women who follow articles like this and believe this stuff. How many, what percentage of women that is, I don't know. I mean, Milo's spoken about this, and I think it's around 6% of women in Britain now who actually would describe themselves as feminists. But the problem is, most of them, as far as I'm concerned, not a huge majority, but the majority nevertheless are perfectly willing to believe this this disgraceful ridiculing of men, because that's what it is. No, actually it's worse than that. It's a humiliation simply by virtue of what you were born. Anyway, she continues, "This is what we will no longer tolerate. You're either with our bodies or against our bodies." Well, I'm MGTOW and I don't want to be anywhere near your body. The punishment for harassment is you disappear. The punishment for rape is you disappear. The punishment for masturbation in front of us is you disappear. The punishment for coercion is you disappear. She fucking thinks she is Don Corleone. This new rule upsets many people, men and women. Yeah, you need to, Amber Tamblyn, you need to take note of that women thing, because there are mountains, colossal numbers of single childless career women out there wondering why they're being left in the middle of nowhere by men, because they don't even know about MGTOW, because most of the mainstream media don't talk about MGTOW at all, because they're too busy demonising men and creating the very single childless women that wonder why the fuck they can't have relationships. And the ironic thing about that is loads of these women go to the same media to take advice from charlatans and gurus. I'm not suggesting for a moment in the New York Times here, but charlatans and gurus, self-appointed relationship experts, women who just con them into making even more mistakes. Anyway, but what they don't seem to understand is no one is saying the disappearance from the public eye has to be forever. I'm not talking about banishment, I'm talking about ceding the floor. Okay, she's talking about ceding. To cede is to give up territory, and men having their territory taken over from them in parliaments absolutely everywhere. And it just reminds me of that old adage about give a woman an inch, she'll take a yard. Give her a yard, she'll take a mile. And the more that feminists are given, the more they demand. And so many men just don't seem to get it through their heads. They will never ever stop taking until they have control of everything, and then they'll just destroy men. Anyway, the power of celebrity and cultural approval must disappear for the time being, so that all women see and believe that consequences do exist. All women. What is she suggesting? That all women are victims? In that discussion about redemption on my couch, the woman said to the man, "Look, do I believe Louis C.K. is going to come back in a year or so with a lot of reflection about what he did? Yes, I do. When he goes back out on that stand-up tour someday, I'll roll my eyes and say, all right, get on with it then. But for now, his old power is over. He's going to have to find a new power if he ever wants to come back." Last paragraph, thank God. A new power. Can there be one for men, free of humiliation, shame, and violent assault against women? That is just, that's sick. So guys, you should feel humiliated, shamed, because you were born wrong. Women who, this gets even worse. Women who are their wives, daughters, mothers and friends sitting next to them on couches. She's now trying to, it seems to me, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems she wants women who are wives of men, daughters of fathers, mothers of sons, sitting next to them on couches, thinking that their male relations should feel ashamed of themselves, that they should be humiliated for being what? Born wrong? And what would it take to achieve it? Lots of bullying like this, I would imagine, you sexist. That's the question for men and their text chains right now. Not the question of how soon they can ask about redemption. Get this straight, Amber Tamblyn, you bitch. I don't need fucking redemption from you or any other woman. Redemption must be preceded by atonement. Oh yes, I have sinned. fuck. It is earned, not offered. I don't have to earn shit from you, woman, and I'm offering you shit. If you want amends, I have nothing to ask for amends for. From you. You sexist, horrible woman. You have to make them. No, I'm not. You have to acknowledge the line in the sand. Yeah, I did. You're on the one side. Stay there. And that's why I'm going to remain MGTOW. Once you do this, the next step is simple. Pick a side. I have MGTOW. And you've picked feminism. And we're on opposite sides. We are diametrically opposed to each other. We are polar opposites. So stay away from me, and I'll stay away from you, and I'll stay away from other women, particularly the women who want to follow you like sheep. And her final two words after pick a side is choose us. Fuck you are my final two lines to that article, words. Thank you very much if you got this far. God help us all. I'll leave a link to the article in the comment section and pin it to the top.